So I'm like, all right, just give me your phone number. I'll give it to the police. But she's holding a bowl of cereal, so I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be my fault.
Oh my God, like you seen the bull's area before she hit you, before impact,
As I
or
was like coming to a stop, like I'm looking in her passenger window as I'm pushing her off the side of the road, and I'm like, is that cereal?
yeah. So James, welcome to Talk Dirty to Me. How are you doing
Thank
today?
you. Doing good. Enjoying my Sunday.
All right. So you want to tell me a little bit about yourself? What do you do?
Yeah, Manchester, New Hampshire, born and raised. I've been working with the city of Manchester for 17 years. Done all aspects of garbage as far as laboring on the back for 7 years. I drive in with two guys on the back on a packer, and now I drive a ASL side loader, as you called it, the candy cane,
Yep.
McNeil's body, Mack
Candy
truck.
cane. Alex's favorite truck. He ain't here right now, but his favorite
No, he's
truck.
not here. I mean, I'm sure we could complain about it together.
Yep. He would definitely have stories for you because, So your favorite part of doing this is what? Do you like doing rear load? Did you like doing the ASL? Which one's your favorite part?
ASL is by far my favorite just because of the fact that it's my own pace. It's me, myself, my podcast, my music, and whoever wants to yell at me that day, basically.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely the solo thing is better. Well, I've talked to drivers and they're like, "Hey, I like rear load because like you're always out, you're always busy, you're always active, you're always doing something." And in ASL, you're not. Like you're just always driving. That's it. So definitely got both sides of it. But I think them guys with the have just ran rear loads. They haven't ran ASLs yet. So they never
I
got
was
both.
on rear load for 7 years as a laborer, and if you want to count as driving, it was 10 years with rear load as a driver, too. I did my time. I did my time on the back of a truck, so
Right.
I got two blown out shoulders. I've had three shoulder surgeries. I have degenerative disc disease in my lower back and had a little accident and lost part of my finger. So I'm good by
Wow.
myself now.
Wow, man. I've seen a guy lose his whole hand in the back of a rear load, chopped it right off, gone.
Yeah, that's
He
yeah.
tried to
You,
push
you
a piece
see some
piece of
crazy
paper.
accidents in this job.
Right. He tried to push a piece of paper into the packer, and the packer caught his hand, and it left it in the glove. Like it left his hand in the glove, but
Oh,
it chopped it so bad that it like didn't even bleed.
oh, it
Like it like
cauterized it right away.
yeah, it's weird. It's a weird
Oh,
situation.
that's
Like he
crazy.
wasn't bleeding. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of risks in what we do. What is some of your favorite moments that's happened out on route?
I'd have to say some of my favorite moments are the kids. We do a job that, we're getting yelled at most of the time. Why didn't you take this? Why did you do that? Or people making up stories. They skipped my trash when they didn't put it out until noon. But when you see the kids and they love seeing the truck, that just makes my day. I have a couple runs where I have buddies, my buddies that I see every week. They come out and wave. They'll give me drinks in the summer, presents at Christmas and stuff like that. And that's probably my favorite part of
Yeah,
the job is that.
the interaction. Yeah, definitely. I talked to this one guy, and he was telling me that he like brings gifts to the kids as well, and that's his
Yeah, I've
favorite
done
part.
that. Yeah, we
It's really
have
cool.
DPW gear like hats, vests, and stuff like that. I've brought hats. I've brought vests.
I
I've
wish
never
we.
bought a present for anybody because I don't want to. I feel like I'm overstepping sometimes.
I
You
get that.
never know. You want to always check with the parents first. But I do bring treats to some dogs that are on my run that come up to me sometimes, and I'll bring them milk bones. But I'll check with the owners because you never know this day and age. They're like, my dog's vegan.
Yeah,
Sorry.
my uncle needs lettuce. Yeah. So I do front load now, so I don't really get to experience that. I don't experience the kids anymore, right? Because I'm doing front load and we're commercial. But I remember I had a stop that this kid was always come out, and he actually went out and got a toy, like one of them ride-along trash trucks, and
Oh
he was
yeah.
like so excited. So I'm picking up the can, and he's out there, watching me do it, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to check out the inside of my truck?" And he came over, checked out the inside of the truck. He was like super happy, and it is,
I
it
do
is a
that too.
yeah, it's really exciting
Yeah.
to see the kids' faces because it
Oh, it's
definitely is.
fun. Like, I'll always do that too. Like, if, when some of my buddies, when I first met them, they'd see me every week and I'd hop out and be like, ask the mom or the dad, like, hey, you want a picture of him inside the truck? I can show them the inside and kids love it. And every year we do this Touch a Truck event in Manchester where you got police, fire, big cranes, tow trucks, garbage trucks. And I'm always like, oh, the firefighters are going to be the most popular, but it ends up being my truck that all the kids want to get into and see the
Right,
inside of because, they're like, what happens to the trash? How do you do it? And I open the
right,
tailgate and I show them the inside of the body and they're just so, amazed by it. It's so much fun to watch.
right, right. Yeah. So I went into a school one day when there was a school bus or the fire truck was there, and they were showing off the fire truck. And as soon as I pulled in, all the kids just walked away from the fire truck to watch me tip the can. And the fire people are
Yeah.
all mad. They're like, "What? We're trying to show you art." Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it's really cool to see that. That excitement that comes with the job is really awesome.
Well, when you're
Definitely.
doing a job it's you got to admit it's so underappreciated.
It,
They look at you like, "Oh, you're just a garbage man." But, you're cleaning up neighborhoods, you're cleaning up city streets, you're doing something I think is important. So when you see excitement from, I mean, even dogs, not just kids, like when the dogs are happy to see you, you're just like, "Hey, I'm not getting yelled at today, so that's good."
right. Definitely. Yeah, it's definitely an excitement, man. Like so much fun. Do you have any scary moments? Any moments that really got you?
Yeah, when I would say when I first started, when I was on the rear load, I got my license, and my driver, he was really good at making sure we all got drive time. We'd switch out every 30, 45 minutes and drive. And there was a day where it was snow squalling all day, so it would snow heavy, and then the sun would come out, and then it would snow again, and then the sun would come out, so it got really icy, and we were working on hills and I was driving and we were picking up a stop and I just ended up looking in my rear view up the hill and I just see this Ford Excursion barreling. Like I can tell the tires aren't spinning. It's just sliding right in our direction. So I start laying on the horn, I start tapping the brakes and I see my laborer jump on the other side, but I didn't see my driver. And the car just smacked the back of our truck and I didn't know where the driver was. So I thought I was hopping out of the truck and I was going to see something awful. And
Right.
I run in at the back and I see the car all smashed up. The people in the car were okay. I'm yelling for the driver and he just all of a sudden just pops up out of the ditch like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm good." So
Wow.
I would say that was the scariest thing because I thought I was going to see someone, really, really hurt basically.
Yeah.
And he was okay. And then the first thing he told me was, "All right, get back in and drive." Because he told me the best thing you can do after an accident is to keep driving. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for you to get back.
Right, right. Yeah, because the fear that comes with that. That's crazy, man. That's a really crazy story. Like I've been lucky so far, knock on wood. I have not had nobody hit me seriously. Done this for 8 years, and I've touched a car last year, and that was the first
Okay.
thing I've ever been involved in.
I've had a few, but most of them one of them was a texting while driving, and I was actually training another driver at the time, and he was sitting on the other side, and I'm picking up a stop, and I'm on a busy road, and all of a sudden the truck just kind of, and I look in my rear view, and I just see the car, and the guy looks at me, and goes, "What was that?" I go, "Ah, someone just hit us," and I got out, and he was all smashed up, and police came, disconnected the battery, and they figured out he was texting and driving, and that was that. But my truck, the safety bumper was pushed up. That was it. They just fleet came out, straightened it out, and I just kept going. And then I
Wow.
had another one that was a side swipe. Somebody tried to pass me on a road on a double yellow with cars coming the other way, and I was going, and he tried to push in and just sideswipe me, and that was
Uh,
that.
I I get a lot of that because cars don't
Oh
care.
yeah,
They don't care about
no,
you. Like they're in a hurry to get around you, get by you, and that's their main focus. Their main focus ain't what you're doing. Your safety
hmm
ain't nothing to them. So, you've seen that accident in New York City where that guy got rear-ended and like hurt that one rear load thrower.
Oh, was it with the legs
Yes,
where he messed up his leg real bad?
yes, yep.
Yeah, I did see that.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
Like this,
and that's what makes the job so dangerous right there is the fact that everybody sees a garbage truck and they're like, "Oh, he's going to be in my way," or
right,
"Oh, I'm late for work," or "I got to get around this guy no matter what." And
right,
we got big flashing lights for a reason. That means we're working. It means be patient. I'll have no problem working with you, but I'm not going to sit there and yield to everybody that's trying to pass me. I still have a job to do, and I plan on doing it safely. What day's garbage day. Leave early.
right. Or people like with you, people park in front of their cans a lot, right?
Yeah, I just take a picture of it, and that's that.
Oh, you
I
don't
I
even
don't
got to
have to
deal
get
with them.
out and move anything. And we have this program. I don't know if you guys use this. It's called Rubicon, and
No.
it's a route tracker, and you can mark every stop that's out, not out. Exceptions as far as blocked,
Oh yeah,
contaminated, stuff like that.
right. Yeah, yeah. We have something like that. I forgot the name of it though, but we do have something like that. Yeah. where your truck takes pictures of the stops and stuff. Yeah, but even with that, we still got to get out and move the can away from the car. We're not allowed to leave it.
Oh,
So
really?
no, no, no. And in front load, when you pull into a stop and if it's blocked, normally I wait, like, because I get along with all my customers on route. Like, there's not one customer that I don't get along with. So, like, if I pull into a place and it's somebody, like a car is blocking the can, they're just going into the store or wherever they're going in, you know. I'll wait for them to come back out and move because it's not the place's fault that the can's blocked. It's more of people that's going there, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, we do have that system kind of like that, but we do got to get out.
Oh yeah, I mean where it's more government than private for us. So it's kind of fixed into the city taxes is refuse pickup. Um
Okay.
they have to do their part for us to do our part basically. And the biggest thing we get is, if it's not out and we can mark it not out, that's the biggest thing that covers our ass because we have people calling up all the time saying, "Oh, they picked up everybody on my street except me."
Right. Right.
It's like, yeah, I rolled a dice and you were the one that lost today, and that's who I'm skipping. That's exactly how this works. And then my boss can just look on the Rubicon and be like, no, he marked you not out at 9:15, and you're calling me at 2:30. So
Right.
what are you trying to tell me here?
Does your system set the routes up for you, or do you guys manually do it?
No, it just sets up the border and the stops, and all we do is they tried to get us like to do it their way.
Right.
And like, oh, here, try doing your run this way. And it's like, I've been doing the run for 5 years. I'm like, no,
No.
I got it. I'm
Yep.
good. I can figure it out because I don't do it the same way all the time. It all depends on the day before because there's days I don't get to the dump in time and I have a load on for the next day or half a load on for the next day. So I'll do the run different. So, it just fills it up quicker. I get to the dump quicker. And there's always many different ways to do a run and I don't want to be told how to do it.
Right. Right. We all have our own ways of how we run our route, and most of it's the efficient way because you have it set up so where you'll go down and then come back basically.
Hmm.
And when they do it, they have you do it just so you go straight down. But like in my line of business, if I did that and I packed out, I'd have to go to the landfill and come back and go back to the end of my route to finish it
Exactly.
instead of come back and get the
Yeah,
beginning of my route.
and it's not so much like, everybody thinks ASL is you do one side, you come back, you do the other side. But not every neighborhood is set up that way.
Nope.
I have neighborhoods where I do one side and then 2 hours later I come back to do the other side because
Yep.
of the way it works out over on the other part of the neighborhood.
Yep. That's mine was the same way. When the towns that I did, I had it set up where I'd run through the town and then I'd keep going and I'd come back and then pick up the other side of the town. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely how it was. And then that's when you get the people that didn't put out. They put out and they're waving their hands for you to get out of your truck and cross the road and get their can. You know.
I mean, I have no problem picking up for those guys, but I'll tell them, I'm like, bring it over to my side, bring it over to my side. And they just sit in their driveway like, come get it. No.
So do you guys have to get out of your trucks or no? Or like, because I heard there's residential drivers that don't have to. Like it's part of the job. Like you're not supposed to get out of your truck.
It's not we're not supposed to. They basically say, stay in your truck as much as you can. But if we knock something over, obviously we'll pick it up. But I've gotten to the point where I can pick up my own toters with my claw.
Right.
I can just, pop it right back up if I knock it over. But,
Yep.
There are some times where, I'll get out and, we have these overflow bags. They're orange bags that you can buy from the city. And if they have those out, they never put them in a toter. So I have to get out and throw that in. But for the most part, I'm in the truck all day.
Right. Do you have walk-ups or pull across? Anything like that?
What is it called?
Walk-ups, like so you got to walk up to the business, grab the cans, and bring them out to your truck, or pull across where you pull them across the road.
No, it's all residential. And we actually, on dead ends, on busy streets, we actually get them to put them on one side. So we're just backing down and pulling out.
What? No, we don't get that lucky. Like so, okay, so
We're
like
spoiled. Yeah, we're a little spoiled. I'm not going to lie.
so our pull across are like this. So you'll go down the street and they'll only have one can on the left side of the road. So you'll get out, grab it, drag it across the road, tip it, and then put it back. That way you don't have to come back. That's why we do our pull across. But a walk up is like some customers are like maybe disabled or something. They can't bring their can out to the road. So we'll walk up to their house, get it, bring it back out, and tip it, and then put the can back in their proper. Or
We
back
don't have
room.
anything like a registry or anything like that, but there are people on my routes, I've been doing the same routes for a long time. You get to know some of the people, and there are some people on my routes that I know have a hard time, especially in the winter. So if I notice their stop's not out, I'll get out and I'll go check and make sure everything's all set. And if it's half full, I'll bring it to the truck and dump it. But it's not something that we're made to do. It's more of,
You're not.
what kind of a worker do you want to be? Do you want to be a good worker? Or do you want to be not my job kind of worker? And I'm not that kind of not my job kind of worker. I like make
Right.
sure I take care of people.
Right. Yeah, I've had customers, especially the ones that give tips. It's not just the tips though. It's like me being nice. But I've had customers where they'd forget to put their can out, and I'd get out of the truck, go grab their can, bring it out, tip it, and just leave it there, and then just go. And they'll come out the next day and be like, or the next week that I'm there and be like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. I forgot to put it out." And I was like, "Yeah, But
Yeah.
they always remain like nice to you. They're always nice to you when you're en route. They'll say hi to you. Treat you like normal. Then when you get the other
And
ones
that's
that are
what
like,
and I feel like that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like if you're nice to us, we'll be nice to you. But if you come out
right,
yelling at us, swearing at us, blaming us for something that we didn't do, we're not going to help you.
no,
We're going to find something wrong.
mm-hmm,
We're going to make sure we find a reason not to pick you up.
right. See, it kind of stinks because you got the candy cane arm, but like we had the Labreeze with the bar arm that would come out, right? And you could
Oh
just tip
yeah,
the can out you could tip the can out in the open. So you
yeah.
make
See,
them.
I can't. I do that.
Does your gripper work really well? So when you grip it, like, doesn't shake the can at all?
No, it works good. It hugs it real tight. But the thing about that is people shove cardboard or they pack it down real tight, and then when my arm grabs it, it squeezes it tighter, and then everything's stuck, and I can't shake it out.
Right, right,
And
yeah.
then they call and say, "Oh, you didn't get picked up." I'm like, "No, I tried to, but they're packing it in too tight. They got to keep it loose."
Your truck doesn't have an inhibit button, a button that says inhibit on it,
No.
because that inhibit button, if you hit it, you can open your claws while they're up.
Oh,
You can
no,
open them.
no. They
Yeah,
won't let us do that because there'd be a lot of missing toters because there's a lot of people that like to piss us off.
I've done that too. I've taken people's soldiers. Yeah, you're on collection, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we had the inhibit button. It's really nice because if like you go somewhere and somebody's like, "Hey, I have this like dresser right here. Can you take it?" And, normally you got to say no. But with that inhibit button, you can grab the dresser, pick it up, put it, and just open the claw and let it go into your truck. You know.
Yeah, they didn't trust us with that button, I guess, because no, we
Well,
don't have that on the McNeilus. I don't know
right.
if
I don't.
Alex does or not, but
No, I don't think he does either. I think it's the design. The Labreeze have it. I don't think the McNeilistas have it though.
I
Yeah.
think McNeilus they did so many things wrong with the engineering of that body. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
I complain about it at work all the time, so I have no problem saying it on here. And
Right.
if McNeilus wants to sue me, go ahead. But the engineering on that, they have an alarm that goes off every time the arm is down.
Mm-hmm.
Like the claw's down in an operating position, and you're driving, and it beep 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 beep,
Yeah.
and it doesn't stop. And it's like, obviously my claw's down because I'm working,
Right. Right.
and the sensors are just really sensitive. So even when the claw's up, if I take a turn, an alarm goes off. And
Right. What about floor heat?
what about that?
Do you have floor heat?
No, no, not in the Mac, not in the Mac.
How did your feet feel by the end of the day on the cold days?
Feels like I just got out of a hockey game. You know that feeling? I don't know if you played hockey, but yeah, when you take your skates off.
It's funny because you go to the driver's side and you got heat again. Like the driver's side has floor heat, but the passenger side doesn't. In my McNeilis, the passenger side has floor heat, but the driver's side doesn't.
I'd take that all day because I never go on the driver's side. I drive on
Well,
the working side all day, even
right,
to the
but
dump and back.
mine's front load, so I'm always on the driver's side. I'm not on the passenger
Oh
side at
yeah,
all. There's no steering wheel over there. Yep. So yeah, that's crazy, man. I don't know why the Labreeze have it too. I don't know why they don't have floor heat. Like it doesn't make sense.
it
Like what?
really doesn't.
Your feet don't get cold?
My feet are the only thing that are cold at the end of the day. I'm sweaty up here, but then my feet are freaking numb.
Right. Is there a gap in your door like that big too?
I don't have the gap. I have the window, like the low window
Door
on the
window.
door, and I feel like that brings in more cold than anything because I don't think the seals are good on that
Right.
window because I always feel like a draft going up my right leg.
Right. Yeah. Everybody that I talks about getting like a vacuum hose and stuffing it into one of the vents because they got the round vents. So you stuff a
Yeah.
vacuum hose in it and run it down to your feet. It'll work.
Yeah, that might work. I was gonna get thermal socks. I try to wear like I first started wearing thick socks, but then I noticed my feet were getting sweaty, and then it was just making it more cold. So then I just started wearing regular socks, and it kind of helps out a little bit. But I don't know. It's
Right.
just another design flaw, I guess you could say, with Mack and McNeil.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Like it's crazy. Like even with mine, my feet get cold, and then I got to get out and open corral doors and stuff. So your feet also get wet. So you got wet feet and it's cold. And then you do 60-mile-an-hour down the road, and it just like makes like a cooler for you.
Yeah,
So
so how much do you adjust your heat all day? Because all day long, like when I'm on run, I have my heat on like 2, and then when I'm going to the dump, I turn it up to 4, and then when I get back, I'm like turning it off because it's getting too hot. Like you don't get
right.
consistent temperature in that truck at
No,
all.
no, because I mean I used to so like in my old livery, no, but my old livery had floor heat. So the older liveries had floor heat, right? And then when they came out with these new things, this is when they took the floor heat out of them. So my old truck did have floor heat, but I used to adjust my heat by my window. I'd put the window up or I'd put it down. And
I do that
then,
too all day.
yep, that's how I controlled the heat. I didn't touch the heater at all. I just touched the floor heat or the window. And the other livery that I had the air conditioner that set up above, right?
You had the roofy AC.
Yeah.
Did you get
So
the
like
icicles?
yeah, so like even in the wintertime, like if it's a hot day in the wintertime, you could turn on the AC at work. So it was really cool.
See, what I do in the McNeil is we have a knob underneath the cab. So in the wintertime, we have to open that knob for heat,
Hmm.
and then in the summer, we have to close that knob for AC. And that's a pain in the butt because sometimes Fleet will do it for us when we don't ask them to.
Yep.
So like this year, it was like still hot in like October. It was still like AC weather in October for a garbage man, not for everybody, but you know, on a garbage truck when you
Right.
have the engine like right beneath you, you use the AC even when it's like 40, 50 degrees.
Right, right. That's hot
And
though.
they already opened our valve, so I'm dying. I'm trying to turn the AC on, and all I'm getting is heat.
Right,
And they'll
right.
do it like March. They'll close the vent, so now all we have is AC. But now we're getting a blizzard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. But you got power windows though in your truck, right?
car windows.
Power windows.
Oh yeah, we got
Power?
power wind. Well, yeah, sometimes, yeah, when they want to. Usually, the power window means you hit the button and you have to pull on it just to get it to get started.
So your windows don't work good. Yeah, because mine
Not
don't have
great,
that.
no.
Mine has the crank. So you still
Oh, you got the crank window. Well, see, sometimes I wish I had that because, you know, if I take a day off, I got to tell them don't put the window all the way down because you won't get it back up.
yeah, yeah. The same thing in some of the cranks. Like it'll get down like to the bottom and then the window will just fall in. And then they gotta gotcha. Yep.
You feel
So
like when you drive a garbage truck, you're just getting like a limo, like it's just spare parts all thrown together
it
just
is.
to get something done.
It is. Just, hey, take this truck and go do your route. You know, my truck, there's you know where your side window's at, your bottom window? So my
Yeah,
truck has the vent. So you know how some of them has the vent there?
yep,
Mine's missing the vent and all that's blocking it is duct tape.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds about right for a garbage truck.
So you
I
think
remember when I first started with the city, we had a Ford garbage truck, and this thing it was a small garbage truck, but it did the job. But it had a tennis ball for a shifter.
they just put whatever they can together, man.
Oh yeah,
But we go out there and do it every day with that same truck, you know?
pretty much.
No matter how cold it gets, how hot it gets, still the same thing. We're out there just still trying to knock that trash out, you
Yeah,
know?
we're better than mailmen. You know, they take days off sometimes. You know, when
Right,
it's really bad, they're not out there. We're still out there.
right. They get holidays off and they ain't got to work Saturday. Oh, well, no, they got to
Which,
work Saturday. Yeah, mailman works
yeah, they
Saturday
do.
anyway.
I'm sure it's rotating for them though.
Right, right. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
see,
we
when
don't
I
got
get a
that
holiday
rotation.
week, it's I don't look at it as like, oh, I got a short week this week. It's like, oh, I got Monday off, but I have to work Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, so you guys do work Saturday. Some companies don't even work Saturday. Some trash companies get Saturday off still.
Yeah, only on the holiday. Like we worked MLK Day because that's our floater. We get a
Hmm.
floating holiday for that day. But any other time we have a holiday, like doesn't matter what day of the week it is, we work Saturday.
Yeah, that's us too. Are you guys able to work ahead?
Only on the overtime weeks. So
Okay.
if we have Monday off, we can do our Monday and then start our Tuesday
Mm,
and then kind of piggyback it all week.
right.
And most of the time, I mean, that very rarely even happens because we've had low manpower, low truck, you know, trucks
Mm,
getting pulled off the road. So we usually have 1 or 2 runs off a day anyway. So we're usually working, I'll get my run done and then I'm going over to another run to help get that done. And
yeah,
no,
that's
we're allowed to piggyback, but it very rarely happens.
right. And so in residential, you're not allowed to do it. You can't work ahead. In front load though, you can. So like I can go get all my customers and I'll pick them up. So some I can work ahead, but it depends on when the holiday hit. Like if it hits on a Wednesday or Thursday, I'll come in Saturday and work. My Friday routes are pretty easy route. Like I'm usually done by like 9:30 anyway, and they let us start at 3 on that holiday week, so we'll start at 3 in the morning, and I'll be done at like 8. So that's not a bad day. Like to me, that's not a
That's not
bad
a
day.
bad day. That's not a bad day at all. I'm 7 to 3, and if we work Saturday, I can start at 6. But there's a
Oh,
noise ordinance in Manchester, so we can't be on the road before 7.
all right. And you guys are always done before 3, like no matter
Oh
what.
yeah. Well, for the most part, barring breakdowns, manpower. Sometimes he'll call out, and my boss will call out and ask if anybody wants to stay late and get shit done. But yeah, for the most part, we're done before 3.
Damn, I wish. I wish. Sometimes I work 4 in the morning till like 4 at night. So 5 at night. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Especially
guess you
like
could say I'm a spoiled garbage man because we're pretty much we used to be throw and go. It would just be, you go in, you get done, you make sure everybody else is done, and you're done for the day,
mm,
and that's it. But lately, it's more we'll get out around 2:45.
right. So do you guys like help each other out when you guys are done with your route?
Yeah, I have a lot of the drivers that I communicate with, especially on the ASL. We have 5 of those, and I don't remember how many packers we have at the moment. I don't even remember any laborer's name at the moment because I'm always by myself, so I don't really pay attention to who's getting hired and who's getting fired. But yeah, if somebody needs help, we usually, get over there and we'll help them bang it out and do what we got to do.
Right. They'll be like, "Hey, Frank's not here today." Frank, who's Frank? Oh, the one
Yeah, pretty
thrower.
much. Yeah, I've had that, and like they'll know my name. I'll walk in the morning like, "Hey, Jim." I'm like, "Who the hell are you?"
Hey, buddy. I get that. I do that
It's
too
like, "Good
because like
morning, guy."
at one time, like they were bringing in people all the time, like hiring new people, and then they'd quit. And then this one guy actually came and he worked for like a month, like 6 months or something like that, 6 weeks. And then they ended up firing him because he couldn't do the job. He couldn't handle it. So he went over to like UPS and was working for UPS, and he came back as a UPS driver to deliver a package. And he's like, "Hey, Shawn, how's it going?" And I'm like, he's like, "You don't remember me?" And I was like, "Nope. I've seen probably
Yeah,
about 40 of you since I've been here." So it's just how it is. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I had a laborer last week tell me he's like, "I want to throw with you. I want to go in the back of a truck with you. I could out throw you." I'm like, "How long you been here, man? You've been here what, 2 years?" I'm like, "You're not out throwing me." I go, "I got 2 blown out shoulders, a bad back, and a missing finger, and I could still out throw you."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm a trash talker sometimes, but he probably would outthrow me, because
You
I got 2 blown out shoulders, a bad back, and a missing finger.
that though.
But
Yep.
I still gotta talk myself up a little bit. I think I
Yeah.
could still hang on to the back a little bit for at least half a day until I
Yeah.
needed some aspirin or some Tylenol and some painkillers to, get my back relaxed.
You'd have to take it before you even started as well, too. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. It's so. Did you guys have like the solid rear loaders or the coal collectors?
Do you say coal collectors?
Yeah. You know what that is?
What would a coal collector be considered?
You can take trash and recycling in it.
Oh, no, 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 no. We just had the main body. One. You talking like the split body where one
Yeah.
side's recycle, one's. Yeah, no, we don't have that. Our city contracts out recycling to a different company. I
Okay.
believe it's actually Casella now. That
Funny.
Casella bought out Pinard, and Pinard Waste is no more, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I know, it's all Casella, and they do recycling in Manchester. And I know you're a Casella guy, but get the hell out of my way. They're always in my way.
It's so funny because we say the same thing. Like I met a few guys in here, and they're from New Jersey, or in the group, and they're from New Jersey, and we're really close to New Jersey, right? So like we'll always have cars from New Jersey in New York, and I'm like, "Get back to New Jersey! What are you doing in my state?" Just
Yeah.
goofing around. And then he messaged me one day, and he's talking to me, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm from New Jersey," and I'm like, "Oh no, I'd be talking
Oh
so much
boy.
crap to them drivers."
Yeah, I see. I have usually, like, I have the same drivers for Casella on my routes that, they know where I start. And I've talked to a couple of them. I'm like, "Hey, we always seem to be getting in each other's way. So where do you start so I can adjust and not get in your way, or you can adjust and not get in my way?" And, most of them are like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll start here. And if you start on the other side, and we can just cross over in the middle and we won't be in each other's way."
Right.
And then I have some guys that are like, go
Oh,
fuck
so
yourself.
hey, I'm that guy. No, I'm like, oh no, yeah, it's so funny, like seeing the competition. Like some people are like very competitive with it, but like me, I'm not. Like if you came out to my route and you like broke down or needed some help or something, I would jump out and give you a hand. That's just me. But like other people are like, no, that's the That's the enemy
That's
right
the
there.
enemy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. And yeah, it's funny though. Like I think we all should just help each other. We all do the same job at the end of the day.
Yeah, pretty much. I've had people come up to, I've had Casella drivers come up to me. Well, it was Pernard at the time, but this guy came up to me and he told me, he goes, if you keep blocking my toters, we're gonna have a problem. And I look at him, I go, where are you working? I go, what street are you talking about that I'm blocking toters? Because I always make sure, like, I don't block the blue ones. I always
Right.
make sure, there's enough space. And if I knock over a recycle, I'll pick it up and make sure I don't leave it on the ground. Meanwhile, they're knocking my stuff over. They're blocking my stuff with
Mhm.
yard waste barrels. And he comes up to me and he gave me a street. And I go, oh, I haven't even been on that street yet. So I don't know what you're talking about, man. But he was so ready for a fight that he just comes up and he's like, keep blocking my toters, we're gonna have a problem. I guess we're gonna have a problem because now you just gave me like an invite to just mess with you for the rest of the days.
So now you drive up and you grab your can, you tip it, you back up and put it right in front of his and just drive away. That's what you keep doing.
I did do something like that to somebody that used to work that I knew from the other company, and I just did it because the guy annoyed me. He used to work where I worked, and I didn't like him.
Right.
So I went down the street and I took every toter that I dumped, I put it on top of
Of
his
his-
toter. So he turns on the street and all he sees is blue toters with green toters on top of them.
That's awesome. He didn't even know what to say, man. That's great.
I didn't get a call, so I don't think he said anything.
Right. He probably just came in and grabbed his can and shook it and it knocked the thing off. And do they
Yeah,
use
probably
real?
it probably made me look bad, but I had so much fun doing it. So
Right. So did your truck leave the lids open when you set it down?
sometimes, for the most part, yeah, they flip them open,
Right.
and I kind of like the lids open, just so I look at it like if the lids are open and you break down and somebody's coming over to help you, they know what's done, they know what's not done.
Right.
But yeah, my pressure's set up to the point where it dumps it, and when it brings it back down, it flips the lid open.
Right. Yeah. That's so like our trucks, the Labries especially, they'd flop the lid right open, right? When I did my route, I'd always set the can down really nice and neat, and you'd go look at my cans, and my cans look like I just picked them up, like they didn't even get picked up. That's what they look like, right? But I'd go to somebody else's route, and it looked like a hurricane went through it.
Oh yeah,
I just launched the cans.
that's the rear loader. You can always tell the rear loader runs from the ASL runs because like there's still toters in the middle of the street. There's toters flipped over. There's toters
Right.
on their back. I'm like, oh, that's laborers right there. That's definitely not ASL.
They're just tossing them. Yeah. That was funny because when I did rear load, we never tossed them. I always brought them back and set them down. I don't
Oh,
know.
I was like that when I was a driver. When I was a laborer, I always closed the lids, put them on the curb. And when I was a driver, I would always yell at my laborers to close the lids and put them on the curb. And especially in some of the inner city areas of Manchester, where if you leave them like you got the curb, and if you leave them butt up against the curb, you're actually making the street more narrow for cars to get by. So I always
Right.
tell them, push them back, put them on the curb, put them on the curb. And the laborers always got annoyed with me, and they're
Right.
always like, "Oh, this guy, he's so." I'm like, dude, it's your job. Do your job and shut up.
People are crazy, man. Do you guys so like if you're driving a rear load, that's guaranteed to have somebody else out there with you, or is it
At least
like
one.
okay, so that's like part of the job. Like you couldn't take the
Yeah.
rear load and go out and do your job yourself.
We used to have a parks truck that would go in around and pick up all the city parks, and that would be a solo job.
Okay.
But you would never get sent out on a run to do with just you. You would always have at least one laborer.
Damn. I've taken the rear load up on myself a bunch of times. Me and just
And you still have a back?
yeah, yeah.
You still got
If-
knees?
Yeah, barely. They're here though. They're somewhere. Yeah, I mean it makes for a hard day. I mean, Casella or yeah, we've always had ASLs, right? Even the old CNG ASLs, which were Bridgeports, they're not the best trucks. At least our Bridgeports weren't the best trucks. Probably because they were beat up really well. Them things used to like blow hydraulic lines and stuff like that. I mean, you ended up doing a lot of work by hand.
Yeah, blown hydraulic lines are probably the biggest headache in the job.
Yep, it definitely is. Yeah, and I mean, you'd go out every day and blow a hydraulic line. So sometimes you'll just get out and pull the cans up to the truck, and then just not even extend the arm out because that blowing
Yeah.
line just gets annoying. You'd rather just get out and move the cans yourself. Plus, you drive from the passenger side anyway, so it makes it easier. Yeah.
How many times on an ASL do you have somebody come out to like say something to you, and they go to the driver's side and they look in and they're all confused? It's like, how do you think that would work if I'm driving on the driver's side to pick up on the passenger side? How do you think that would work out?
Right. Your driver's side doesn't have the Joysticks does it.
No, just I just have two steering wheels, but the joystick's only on the operating
Right.
side.
Right. That's so funny because me and my friends actually talked about that. Like, what if you got felony pulled over by a cop and he's telling you to get out the driver's side, but you're getting out the passenger side and he's just yelling, driver, passenger, get back in the truck. Driver, get out the driver's side. Passenger, get back in. What are you doing? He's
I'll
just
just wait for him to
yelling.
come up to the window, and when he looks in the driver's side, he goes, "I don't know, he was here a second ago. I don't know where he went."
Yeah, right. It's been a joke that we've made up for a little while there. It was funny. Because I mean that's where everybody goes. Everybody goes to the driver's side. I've been pulled over by the cops before, and that's exactly where they went, right to the driver's side. And it's like, what are you doing, dude? We're over here. Like, and then he'd come over and he's like, you just blew a piece of paper out back there. Can you go get it? What? Pulled me off for a
Oh,
piece of
come
paper.
on.
Yeah. It depends on the cop. Like most cops don't really mess with us, but I've been pulled over for blowing out a piece of paper before. You
Yeah,
know.
see, where I'm a city worker, so we gas up next to the cops all day, every day. I don't think they've ever pulled us over. They've only showed up to, accidents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they try to like, flex their muscle a little bit at the accident, like, were you driving recklessly? It's like, no, I was stopped and he rear-ended me.
Yeah, it's funny because in front load, when we pull into a stop and if there's a cop just sitting there and they see us pulling, they'll just get out. They'll leave. They don't want nothing to do with that idea because they don't know what kind of illegal stuff we're gonna do back there. You know, you know, we might just back out in front of a car or something. Like you never know what we're gonna do. So
So you said Alex has a McNeilis and he obviously drives on the passenger side, but do you know if who he works for, do you know if they make him switch sides to drive
yeah,
to the dump? They
yes,
do?
yes,
They
yep.
don't do
We
that
gotta
for
switch.
me.
Really, we gotta switch sides to drive to route. We got to be on the driver's side to drive to route, and then when we get out to route, we got to stop, pull over, switch to the passenger side, and then drive to the landfill. You got to switch seats, and it's a new rule. Like this was never in effect in the past like 3 or 4 months. They decided that this is going to be the new rule for us. So it was never a
They didn't do
rule.
that for us.
It was never a rule. Like when I drove ASL, we always started in the passenger side and went out to route and did our route. That's how.
Well, yeah, because you have to adjust mirrors when you switch sides every time. You got to adjust the
Right.
mirrors and everything else.
Right.
That's a
Yep.
pain in the ass. And I
That's
don't even think I could drive on the driver's side on my truck. I don't think I'd probably be driving in the breakdown lane, like taking out mailboxes.
so when you get to the landfill, you don't switch sides.
No.
No, see, that's where we always switch sides because the booth is always on the driver's side. So,
Yeah, we have to walk up and get our slips anyway because where we scale out, we're not even on a booth. We have to walk up to the scale house and get our slip,
okay.
and they won't hand it to us. They don't do tear weight for us. They won't
Oh,
they won't take our tear weight for scaling out. We have to weigh out every time.
okay. So do you do like a landfill or do you do like a transfer station?
Transfer station, transfer station.
Okay. That's a lot easier. I've done transfer
It's a
stations.
pain in the ass.
Really?
I can't stand where we dump.
Are you serious?
They're because we deal with roll offs. We deal with my trucks, loaders, different companies, Waste Management, Casella, Republic. They all go there, and the roll offs, especially this time of year, they're all frozen.
Yep.
And it's usually just one guy clearing out the bays. So when he gets a frozen roll off, he has to stop, get out, get his little, bulldozer, not bulldozer, but his little, forklift truck and go in and scrape out the roll off to get it unfrozen and then goes
Right.
back. And I think last week I was at the dump for 2 hours a day just waiting to dump.
I mean, I can't even talk crap because our landfill's like that. Like you'll go there and like we're not allowed to tip by the dump buckets. We can't tip by them because they lift up. So they'll call in like 3 or 4 dump buckets, and we'll be waiting. Like there'll be a line of little trucks. We'll be waiting for them to come out or to call us down, and it's like, dude, like you guys, like make them dump somewhere else. This is our landfill. We own this landfill
Yeah, we
because our
can't
company
we
doesn't
can't
own
dump
it.
next to roll offs. Yeah, we can't dump next to roll offs. So if
Really,
there's 4 bays in the transfer station. So if you got a roll off in bay 2, nobody can be in 1 or 3.
really, on
Yeah,
flat ground.
yeah. Well,
That's
there was
crazy.
a roll off that tipped. A roll off tipped onto a garbage truck when they. Yeah, I
Really,
don't know how. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me
God,
how it
dude.
happened, but it tipped and landed on another garbage truck, and they stopped doing that after that.
Oh man, I don't even know how that. Like, cause we tip in a landfill. Like, so that ground's like really unlevel. And I mean, like, so your body's a push off, right? The
Yeah,
same as mine. Yours is an eject. Our Labries are all lift up. They're all hoist bodies, so they lift up and dump.
I wish I had that. I would love that.
Yeah, I miss it because I'm an eject as well. Yeah, it seems like stuff comes off faster that way. You could just open doors.
Yeah, because with my McNeilus, I have to push out halfway, bring it back, make sure everything falls, then push it out all the way, pull
Oh, really?
forward, bring it back, and then there's usually stuff on the blade that falls, so I push it out again and then I bring it back.
Really?
You know, it's right.
See,
If
mine's not that hard. Mine's not that hard.
yeah, well, if you don't push, if you just go and push it out all the way,
Mhm.
you're gonna have bags, boxes, you're gonna have everything falling behind your blade, and
Really?
then you go to clean out your traps, and you're never gonna be able to clean out your traps.
Alex has never told me that, and I mean, it's the same truck he drives. He's never told me that he had to deal with something like that. So
I don't
my
know.
truck,
Maybe he does it differently. I'm not sure.
right?
Maybe he
We
just
should have had
pushes
him
it all
on,
out and shovels it out at the end of the day.
right? I don't know. I don't know his trick. I know, like
Maybe I
my
gave him a
truck.
new idea. I don't know.
I get. Hopefully, you did. On my truck, you just eject it all the way out, and then you drive forward a little bit, and then bang your blade a few times, pull it back, and then that's it. You're done. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the ability to bang on the McNeilus. It just pushes out and doosh. You hear that? You just feel this little doosh, and that means the
Right.
blade's all the way out, and you pull forward. But there's no, you
Oh,
can't do
really? You
that to
can't
it.
shake it? Wow. I didn't know that neither. I thought he shakes his blade. I guess not. Yeah. Do you get frozen stuff behind your blade? Yeah, it is. Does it ever freeze up on you?
Yeah. Oh, what happened? I opened my blade up, and it was just ice. It was just all
Right.
ice. I opened up my traps to clean out, and it was just ice. I'm like, okay, I don't know how I couldn't clean my traps for like 2 days,
Is it
and two
frozen?
days without cleaning your traps, you're getting in the back with a shovel and a rake, and you're scraping the hell out of that thing.
Right. Right. Yeah, because mine is always you always got to go behind the blade. But I tip a meat. I tip a butcher, and at the butcher they put blood in. Because you get blood. So I don't go behind the blade on like Monday or Wednesday or Tuesdays and Fridays because I'm not climbing in there with blood. No way. I let it
Yeah,
pack.
and I'm sure that looks interesting when you're at the dump and you're pushing out your load, and if you get a lot of blood that week,
Oh
someone
my, it's
so,
terrible.
oh my God, there's something in there.
It's terrible. Like they know. Like I bet you I could push bodies off of my truck right now, and they wouldn't even say
Have you ever
nothing.
had anything like that happen at the landfill? Did they ever find a body?
I not that I've been. I mean, so I've been there for 8 years. I've never heard of them shut down the land before a body. Not yet, anyway.
2 or 3 years ago, they shut down our transfer station because they found a body.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they I guess, and it was funny because I ended up getting questioned by detectives
Are you serious?
because where the body came from, it actually ended up being, I think it actually ended up being Waste Management or Pernard that picked him up.
Right.
He was a homeless guy sleeping in a dumpster basically, and he got tipped, and he got
No.
put into the truck, and he was already dead, and he got crushed up, and when he came out, he was open like a bag,
Right.
and I was the truck in before that happened,
Yeah.
so they couldn't tell where the body came from. So they were doing their research, and I made a joke to my boss at the time, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm probably gonna get questioned because they're gonna question me for picking up a body. And the next day he calls me, he's like, hey, I need you to come in. I got a couple of detectives here that want to talk to you. And I just started laughing at him. I'm like, yeah, right. Oh yeah, you're funny. He's like, get your ass in here now. There's a couple detectives here that need to talk to you. But they were just asking me like, would you be able to tell if you were picking up a tote or if there was a body in it? I said, yeah, there would be arms or legs sticking out of it or something. You can't
Yeah.
just, I mean, yeah, you could try to fold up a body or cut up a body and put it in there, but I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell per se unless I saw it.
Right.
But if it was in a bag, there's no way I'd be able to tell.
No, because total, you don't know the weight of your total.
Yeah, and the candy cane picks up a
Right.
good amount of weight. It doesn't really hesitate. It doesn't matter if it's heavy or light. It flips that thing over no matter what.
Right. So the closest incidents that I've ever had to that is I actually picked up a can, and it got to my window, and a guy jumped out of it because he's
That was
like,
front load, right?
yeah. So
I've
like I
seen
seen the guy
videos.
jump, yeah, I seen the guy jump up, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I was just hanging out in here, and I was like, yeah, you almost hung out in the back of my truck. I was like, as soon as you get in
Oh,
there, I'm not calling the fire department. I'm hitting the back button, and I'm gonna keep
oh
going.
yeah, last year there was a lady that was in a dumpster and she got dumped and she got packed 7 times, but they found she survived. She lived. She was messed up, but she lived. But yeah, she got packed 7 times, and I can't remember the name of the company. It wasn't Casella. It wasn't us. It wasn't Pinard. It was I don't know. It was some other random company, and they had to like airlift her out of the back of the truck, and it was crazy.
Yeah, it's always a concern because I don't actually want to tip somebody. I'd be joking with it and stuff, but like I wouldn't want to put somebody in the back of my truck because that would hurt. Like
Oh yeah,
especially if
I
you're
mean,
yeah, especially if you're empty. Like if there's nothing in there,
yeah,
just
I mean,
air to ground.
Is that your bathroom? Is that your bathroom when you're working, or do you have certain stops that
Oh, I
you
got
you?
stops. I pick up
I
stores.
have like if it's not an emergency, but if it's like sometimes I'm in a rural area where there's no stores or anything, so I'll just climb in the back, and it always crosses my mind like I'm like, oh, if this thing started packing right now, that would suck.
You're gonna die pooping.
Yeah, no, I don't poop. No, it's number ones, no number twos.
You can't just put out your candy cane and go alongside your truck.
I mean, there's some places where I can pull off on the side of the road and it blocks me to the point where like nobody will see even if they drive by. But for the most part, I have stops. I have areas on every run where I can stop. And if I have to, I can go.
Right, right. Yeah, I try to set up that. I try to set up my bathrooms so it's kind of like that. So it's like I'll go here, okay, I can go in there and use the bathroom, or I'll go here and like nobody can see me if I run off into the woods there and use the bathroom. Yeah, it kind of sucks because I do a city though. I pick up a city all week long. I don't ever get to get out of a city, so sometimes
Yeah,
bathrooms are hard to come by. Sometimes you got to break route and go, like if you
yeah.
got to.
See, that's one thing that people don't understand. I think that's one of the questions I got a lot when people found out what I did was, where do you go to the bathroom? That's your biggest inquiry about my job. It's not like what's it like, what's it smell like, or anything like
Yeah,
that. It's where do you go to the bathroom?
yeah. That's all they care about, dude. I'm working outside. Like I got plenty of places to go.
But that's the worst part about learning a new run. When you get a new run, you're like, all right, I got to figure out how to do it, and I got to figure out where I can take a leak if I have to. Those are
Right.
like the two main points of learning a new run.
Or carry a cup with you. You can carry a
What's
cup
that?
and you can carry a cup with you and just pee in the cup.
I won't do that. No way. I'm not carrying that around with me all day.
The lady just walks by and you toss the pee out and it just gets out. That was my soda.
Yeah, it was Mountain Dew.
It smells really bad.
It's asparagus flavored Mountain Dew.
Yeah, don't eat asparagus when you do that, man. That'd be some crazy stuff. Yeah. The bathrooms is the hardest thing, especially if you got to poop though, because that's where you got to find an actual bathroom. I've heard of stories of people going behind the blade, but I can't like push myself to do it.
I
I'm
can't
not like
either.
brave enough to go in there and squat behind the blade. Like,
There's too many scenarios of something going wrong. Like,
right,
I don't want my bare ass touching swill. You
right,
know?
right, right. What happens if like a hawk flies over and swoops down and grabs you out of it or something? Then you're bare butt in
Or
the air.
worst case scenario, what happens if you're on the side of the road and you're in the back doing your number two and somebody rear ends you?
Oh my god, that'd be the funniest scenario ever.
Oh yeah. How is it my fault? I was taking a dump in the back.
I'm not even driving, dude. I'm in the back pooping. Man, that's great. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. Like the job itself is not bad. I actually like the job. And I did like a lot of computer work before this job. So you get to see a change of scenery every day. That's the cool part. And the
Yeah.
people are really awesome. You know, that's the best takeaway of doing.
Some people are really awesome. Some people that appreciate what you do are really awesome. But then you have the people, I don't know if you deal with it every week though. We have like certain stops every week that we're like, all right, take a picture when you pick it up because this guy's refilling or this guy's doing construction or this guy's doing this. And you always have somebody who's trying to pull something over on you. Like I had a truck on fire because I'm sure somebody threw away chemicals they weren't supposed to be throwing away. And
Right.
this is when we first got the ASL. It was our first ASL. It was just like a demo Mack truck. It wasn't even like the advanced, built for ASL truck where it had like the windows on the corners of the cab so you could see your blind spots. This was
Right.
just a straight up Mack, blind spots everywhere. And I'm driving along and I look at my Packer camera and I just see fire. I'm like,
Oh
oh
no.
Jesus. And spread so fast. And I just called on the radio. I said, I'm abandoning ship. I'm on fire. Send out the fire department. And when they were on the way, I dumped the load and they came out, they put it out, and that was that. But we've had, since I've worked there 17 years, we've had 4 truck fires.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, we've had our share of that. It's batteries. Batteries are what's doing it. People stop throwing away batteries.
Yeah,
They catch
batteries
on
and
fire.
stop mixing chemicals.
Yeah, that too. Or putting your coals in your trash can. Like, what's even going through your
Yeah,
mind?
ashtrays, coals,
Yeah,
it's like, come on,
we get
common
a lot of
sense.
people. We get a lot of people that put coal in their trash can, catches their truck right on fire instantly. Yeah, we had one incident of that. We had a battery. I think all the rest are batteries and chemical fires. So
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all that's going to cause it is chemicals and batteries.
yeah, yeah.
So
Your
you
truck
say you
burnt.
haven't had many accidents. I got to tell you about one of these accidents that I had.
Okay.
I've had a few, like I said, and the last accident I had, it was definitely not my fault. I was driving along and I was turning left into a neighborhood and I was waiting for pedestrians to cross the road, right? So they cross
Hmm.
the road. I start turning left. I have my directional on the whole time. This lady came out from behind and tried to pass me as I turned, and I
Right.
just hit the side of her, T-boned her. Perfect. The reaction for most people in an accident is, you brace yourself. I sat
Right.
there like this. I just waited for the truck to stop because it's happened so many times. I'm like, all right. So I hit the brake and I'm just waiting. And I notice she's holding a bowl of cereal as she's driving.
What?
So she's illegally passing me as I'm turning left, eating a bowl of cereal with a big dog in the back seat.
Did she eat the bowl of cereal after the accident, or did that?
She was wearing it.
What? Damn,
And
that's
this lady came up.
crazy.
She goes, I saw the whole thing. I'm a witness. I can tell the police. I'm like, all right, just give me your phone number. I'll give it to the police. But she's holding a bowl of cereal, so I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be my fault.
Oh my God, like you seen the bowl of cereal before she hit you, before impact,
As I
or
was like coming to a stop, like I'm looking in her passenger window as I'm pushing her off the side of the road, and I'm like, is that cereal?
yeah, I wonder what kind. Mentos Crunch,
She looked like a healthy person, so it was probably like some vegan crap,
Leo.
colon blow or something. I don't know.
That's some funny stuff, man. Oh man. So, is there anything else you'd like to tell everybody, like some words of advice or anything like that?
Well, if you're new and you're just getting your CDL, you're just getting into the business, don't be afraid. If you're afraid of the truck's going to kick your ass. Go in with confidence, get as much wheel time as you can. ASL drivers, always check your blind spots. After every stop, look in that passenger mirror or that driver mirror, whatever you want to call it. The non-operator side mirror. Check that mirror. Always check your mirrors. Keep everybody safe, keep yourself safe, and don't do anything stupid.
Right. So, on that, we're gonna head out. You guys have a good one.